And the audio for our live stream. Okay, it's to let the people on live stream know we are going to be broadcasting again here shortly, and I believe we are now. And let me just, okay, we are recording. And let me share the screen to get things started here. Okay, and we'll bring Andreas in and get our translators set up again. They're just about back to normal. Okay, I think we're good, Mr. Kesh. We should be able to carry on here now.
Yes, we're ready to go.
Okay. So again, any attendees that have any questions, if you can put your hand up, we can activate your microphone and you can ask your question.
Yeah. I think we lost a lot of numbers.
Well, people are coming back here. We still have let's see.
Okay, would you like to start if there are any questions?
Okay, we have Nick in the live stream who says, Mr. Kesh, I have applied for the all-purpose plasma flight satellite and special satellite process. What else do I need in my home to welcome the travelers of the universe? By memory, it was the home enhancement power unit. Excuse me, power unit. Is there anything else I need? Thank you for the 16th and for your service.
Not really. It's just that how you have to understand part of the systems we provide is for the physical need. The new enhancement generators are both will try to bring not only the what we call the material direction, but we bring in the cosmic ray into it as well. The technology is getting developed. In the talk of the design of the new system, we are contemplating now to build a system very much like a stool, like a chair, very much like the shape most probably of a bigger size, if you can think of it, of the maglev units, where you can sit on it and all the technologies, and then you become part of the cosmic structure. It's understood and now has to be implemented in the physical dimension, creating cosmic rays in the system in a way when you enter the zone or you sit on it, your soul and your physicality, everything is within it. It's like a column. And this will gradually come to be part of the structure we release. You got to realize once our knowledge seekers understand and develop the technologies and the way it's come now, there'll be massive changes in a lot of things. It takes time, maybe next 10, 20 years, maybe faster, depending on the need of the nations, what to come in, how to come in. when we talk about this new flight system, and you go shopping, if you're in New York and you want to go to a shop in London, do we put an immigration office in every shop? People coming from all over. Now you shop on the internet from all over the world. Then what happens? Would we have what I see in a very, very near future, end up to this airport business? See the end to this cargo business, not with drones, but understanding. If you understand everything has a soul, and you can create the system we showed you, you create packages, which like a box you have now, which create a field of packages. You put whatever in it, like the way you carry your body. You shop in the supermarket in Beijing and you have it in your home within seconds. Would places like, is there a place for Amazons? There is a lot of changes to come, but the present technology is going to be used to create that connection. When you understand even a stone has a soul, that soul of a stone is not materialistic, it still has connection to cosmic rays, and if you can connect to it, would you need all sorts of things? The extent of the knowledge is not grasped yet. Once it's grasped, one multitude of these systems are put as, I was talking about knowledge yesterday, I think, that the breakthrough will come when the first transmutation is done, when the first man is moved. And as the first man to be moved is an American, I'm sure CNN will report it. And as one of the knowledge guys years ago said to me, when it's on the CNN, I believe it. Any other question?
You had a question earlier before the great crash on what was the frequency or vibration setting for the cosmic ray generator in the system.
What does that mean?
Well, you mentioned there was a generator of the fields inside the unit.
Yeah.
And does it have a particular frequency or vibration level to it that it's tuned to?
It creates its own heartbeat. The system creates its own heartbeat, which needs to be in the heart of what do you call it, in the strength of the universe. Can you connect me to the second channel, please?
Recording in progress.
Yep. Thank you very much. Okay. There we are done. Okay. Anything else?
Well, you were talking about the heartbeat of the system. So is that the the pulses that we see in the oscilloscope? Would that be that heartbeat you're
Yes.
talking about?
Yes, in a way, yes. They decide themselves, not us. It's a frequency, what you talk in the matter state, but these are matter state machines. They pick up on the fringes of part of the structure, which is universal. We don't see the totality of the spectrum of the field. It's like when you bring an egg and a sperm in the heartbeat of the mother in there, it's, what do you call it? It creates its own heartbeat, and its heartbeat is different than the mother. And this is the same with man, the same with these systems. They have their own soul, they decide. And most of it, what I call the finesse of it, what it to tune to, it comes to what they come in touch with as a soul, and what we have allowed to be the condition inside it. If we change one parameter, the heartbeat will change.
So is the heartbeat or that pulse, is that put out by the one out of the 4 units and the other 3 sort of pick it up?
It's a combination. It's a combination. Don't forget, they work with, when you speak about the cosmic rays, you have to speak about the heartbeat of the earth. You have to speak interaction with the heartbeat of the solar system. You have to consider the heartbeats of the galaxy. And then your universe. Our heartbeat, like as we've shown, is a multitude of different heartbeats when they come to balance. And depends what we put, what filters we put to, in respect to other, what do you call it, heartbeats. The color of the skin, the thickness of the skin, the size of the muscles, all this counts in your heartbeat, what is going to be. The emotion, what emotions you carry. Are you born in a family with a peace, or are you born in a family with a lot of tension? All those decide your heartbeat. In a very simple way, when you run, your heartbeat changes. When you meet your lover, your heartbeat changes. One is in the physical dimension, one is in the emotion. But it's the same heart. So if you eat hot food, you get different heartbeat. If you freeze, you go different heartbeat. So it's the same with the heartbeat of the universe and what we call cosmic rays.
Okay, we have a question in the Q&A in that regard. Says from Virgil, it says, Mr. Keshe, 2 years ago in the 352nd workshop, you spoke to us about the fundamental rays, which are in essence the creators of life, in any essence, in any shape and form. Is there any difference between what you then called fundamental rays and what you now call cosmic rays? Thank
Fundamental rays are part of the cosmic rays, but they are fundamental for the creation of life on this planet, of you, and differs between different position and spaces and different creation. Cosmic rays are there for everyone. Everyone can tap into. The what I call that time, and it still stays the same, is the fundamental, is for what fundamental for you to exist or entity to exist. You can't take all of it to become one, to exist. The only entity which has all of it and use all of it is the creator. If I can put it this way, now that we have opened this dimension of understanding, not just for man, but for other citizens of the universe, amalgamation, creation of the new children of creator in the dimension of the fields of universe, not in dimension of physicality, and then they take physicals, will become as common as ABC. And then, what is the fundamental race for them? It'll be very interesting that we had physical of universe, physical children of the universe. Now we get physical of the soul of the children of the universe. The same as we said, you can put two women last week and both pregnant from each other's love and bear each other's child through the dimension of the soul, not physicality. Then, if you've seen on this planet, we have a Chinese marrying black and they have a child, or a black marries a white and they have a child. And one from China and one from, let's say, England, the child speaks both languages, but it looks both, bit of English, bit of Chinese. The new generation of children of the soul of the universe will be the same. The ones in China will see them as Chinese, and the ones in England will see them as English. And if they want, they can see the beauty of both. So they can come to Earth and live a human life, and they can go to wherever the other parents is or other partner of the love is to be there. And they will look the same there. And this is the beauty of it. What I call, what we see nowadays for what we call baby tubes. They're born in laboratories from mixture of whatever. Now you don't need these. The test tubes are gone. You are the creator of the fields of it. And then you say, I want a blue eye. You don't want a blue eye. You wish to see the beauty of a blue eye. It's different understanding. And if that wish is true, the souls will satisfy it. Dr. Barapul, a couple of days ago, we were talking with him, and he said he has a patient that he asked him, can you do something for him to grow a few centimeters more? He's short by 10 centimeters or something. And I laughed. I said, no, if you go to your soul, you don't have these problems. You'll be at any height, color, and shape as you want where you are. And then you find out as you have this capability that to make, to be what you are and whatever you want to be, then it comes to the point that do you want to be anything but what you want to be? It's very interesting. The door and the time and the place has changed. Any other question?
We have a comment in our Q&A here in German from Wolfgang, who says, I was, translation, my Google translation is, I was completely blown away on the Friday after we connected and only came to when Mr. Keshe said we should go back. I was very cold. My whole body was shaking. I was very hungry, but I didn't know anything. What happened to me? He's asking what happened to him.
I don't know. You ask your soul where he took you. It's like a supermarket. You can run around and pick what you like. And your soul decide on that. It'll be very difficult for a lot of you. And I know exactly what I'm talking about, is that to get to, for you, for your soul of physicality and your soul to work together as one. then there is no these what you call blackouts. Then the soul doesn't take body somewhere for a ride where the physicality is not there, I can't remember. And the physicality doesn't take the soul for a ride where the soul is not aware of. And then it comes to exactly the teachings of Mitra. When I was putting the table for the birthday of Mitra last night, which I've done from childhood, something which my mother brought to us. I'm putting the candles and burning the candles and setting up the table for the night. It was just like a flood of memories. What I've done in such a night in the past years and past times. And some of the memories were so beautiful. And some of them, it's a tradition that we sit around the table, or olden days they used to sit on the fire and whatever, and just telling stories of the past, what happened. And I sent a picture of the table for Mitra's birthday to one of my sons. I mean, I sent to all of them, but one of them wrote back that, did you have time to talk about the past? And then, because they know the tradition. And I sent him a message about how one of the stories of the past, what happened to me as a child when he came to such a night. And he brought back a lot of memories, which we chose not to remember because at that time was so important. And being a understanding of what your soul wants to be comes from childhood, from the inception, from what we brought in. And I sent him a message, a story of my childhood with Xavier Yalda, which then what happened and what I did with my grandfather with it. And then it brings a separation. Do I choose not to, or do I choose to be part of? And to what extent I allow my soul to be extended to that point. To you as knowledge seekers is a date where you hear it. To us as Iranians, as a Parsis, Shab Yalda has a very deep meaning. We celebrate it today as the birth of Mitra. We celebrated the 25th of January as a birthday of Christ. Because Romans decided not to have the same time, they moved it. Because the Jewish element didn't never allow the two ceremonies of two religions, two paths to be the same. So then they found a way to move it by 4 or 5 days, which has calendar problem with all the religions in that way. You celebrate the Christmas, we celebrate birth of Mitra, both from the same virgin birth, and everything else that you read in Christ a week before, like today, applies to Mitra because Christ was copied, was thrown down on the birth of Mitra, thousands of years later.
Mr. Kesh, maybe you could talk a little more about the your views on the concept of virgin birth. Lilium in the live stream had a question about that in the previous show, I think, and it was interrupted due to an internet problem.
In what respect?
I think she wanted to know what is the concept of the virgin birth? What does that mean? Is it, I mean, in the physicality world?
Man
Or
has changed it to physicality. In truth, is to be the same as Mitra. The true meaning of virgin is to be the same as Mitra. When you have no animosity, when you have no, what I call, baggage to carry, you stay pure and you're virgin. Doesn't matter what condition you come to. And you understand and accept it. We just want to connect it because in connection it brings us other connections. But the virginity of Mary and Christ is the purity of the soul, untouched. We call it the Virgin. So now you connect it to a physical and other things that suits the man and understands the dimension of physicality.
and especially we connect it with history and the past when we should be connecting it with the present, because it's a live present thing. To be present with Mitra is like to be clean, like you're saying, and in that present mode it doesn't have to do with 2,000 years in the past, really. It's
or 10,000 years in the past is irrelevant.
Right.
I mean, this virginity is, when you think of it, it brings so much shame to be part of this stupidity of, what do you call it, cultures brought for incompetence of the man. Nothing else. I always said, if you understand why men pushed and pushes with this, and men as part of the human being, where the virginity of a woman has to be a virgin, to be untouched. Why? If you ever look at it psychologically, the reason I explained this before, because when you haven't had the Chinese, you don't know the taste of Chinese. You're only used to Indian food you eat, or English food you eat. When you taste the Chinese, then you say, oh, there's another taste. And then you, as an eater, oh, there is a difference. What I enjoy. For men who pushed with this concept of a woman has to be a virgin, not a man has to be a virgin, is that then they know the man they have is so incompetent compared to the other man who has the competence. Man brought this criteria of virginity for the incompetence they have, they can cover. And they put all the rules around it, adultery and the rest of it, because now the other knows how bad you are in a relationship, or you don't have it. And this, so the concept of physical virginity that was brought out of the incompetence, and the man being the hunter and gatherer, I don't get it, you don't get food, has brought this to us. And now it's become part of the culture of many nations. And the religions have attached to it, because this way they can make man to be in control. But if you look at it in reality, it's nothing but nonsense. Because when a woman knows, sorry, sir, you have no competence, you don't do what I want, what allows me to choose the best energies for the next generation, then I don't need you. Because women go for the best gene to produce the best offsprings. When you put an arranged marriage, you don't fix the thing correctly, so you get all the disabilities, all the problems with the next generation. And they force you this. There's nothing more ridiculous than this concept. And then you have the virginity of the soul. All the souls are virgin because they're untouched, that you come in touch with, and then you, in that interaction, you decide. And now you try to explain this to a bunch of people in different cultures, and how the Catholic Church has made money out of it. if you understood adultery and virginity and the Catholic Church and the prostitute houses of Rome, and then the sin and the confession, you understand all of it is nothing but a shamble. Man made for man. Vatican made its original financing out of prostitution. They run the, excuse my French, the whorehouses of Rome, where the Christians, if they go to them, you went there, you have to pay for it. And then they started the cycle of sin and sinnery and the rest of it, and collecting money. Where does the virginity comes into it? Now, with a new understanding, none of this is that. The same is with the Islamic world. When there were 1 woman and 9 men to be husbands, and now you have the chance of forcing your way with 1 man with 4 women, which one do you choose if you're a man? If you're a correct man, you stay 1 to 1. Or you stay to the condition you accept, not killing for it. And then all the rigmarole which is coming to it. This is what I said, the religions have no more room now that you have, and you see it physically. You came across with your creator in a dimension of the soul. Now you have to bring the physicality to understand this and live the life of it. It's the beauty of the work. If you understand the reality about it, nothing else.
We've got a hand up here with Wolfgang. Wolfgang, would you like to go ahead and open or allow your microphone to open there?
This is a mistake.
I'll ask him to unmute, but I'm not sure if that'll work. May have been an error. Okay, we've got another hand up with Brett here, so go ahead, Brett.
Mr. Keshe, yesterday was a bit of an experience. I kind of, in a way, understand it, but then I don't understand it. What happened yesterday? Were you, in a way, looking at the reactions of what happened? Because it was the same as the other week when it's too hard to explain.
We don't know what you're talking about, what happened yesterday.
Yes. It was incredible.
Where?
Like
How?
How?
I mean, where were you that we got to know what you're talking about?
Okay. So it seems as though I got Fields before Rick's class. And then it starts to happen again. And I don't, in a way I understand it, but in a way I don't understand it. It's just like when you had the line there in the creator, it's just as though that happened, and then there was just a line of understanding and very, it's not difficult to understand, but in a way you just want to know what's going on in the background there, because it was over the last week has been a myriad of understandings. For me, my daughter's needs were understood, and when she needed to go and do something, I knew that she needed the money, but we didn't understand the amount. So I waited for her to call, and then there was a very brief conversation, and I gave her what she needed. It's, I guess that's in its way of understanding, is that you give what a person needs that surrounds you. So were you testing yesterday, is my question, I suppose.
I'm lost.
Lost.
I don't know what you're talking, testing where. Yesterday I wasn't with you.
No. Understand. Okay, then I'm the one that's confused, because something happened to me yesterday that I can't really understand. So I'll just go back to the drawing board and meditate on it and try to understand it, because it was, I've been there before, and then yesterday I was there again. So I don't understand.
Let me explain something very strange happened. Not something. A lot of strange thing happened during the Friday session. Some of it we could hear, we could observe, and some of you who were there are here. Maybe you don't even remember. What I listened to, especially like in trans, it was a position that we brought in no side translators. So when I said, or we requested something in short, it was translated in a few languages to the others who were there, and you couldn't speak English. And I'm sure I heard from the other language people the same, because I could hear Azar translating Farsi. It was totally different than what was said to be translated. And I was wondering what's happening. But they were not there, they were not with it, or they were in it trying to be called in, knowing the physical part has to do something, but the translation has no meaning, no bearing with what was said. In 2-3 occasions. And so where were they? What happened? Did the physicality work with the with a soul trying to come out to do something, while soul was busy and the physicality was locked to it. This is something I said, when you become unisons between the two, then everything is in both dimensions lived. You don't need to sleep to dream and then call it a dream. In reality, if you look at it from the soul point of view, man lives a dream life. Our physical life today, you look at it from the soul point of view, is just a fake thing which is happening. But it has to exist, because as you saw how the soul of the man collective is connected to the creator, do you want to have this attachment burning you down, locking you down to earth, to physicality? With any of soul dimensions, once really understands the work of the connection to outside, will ever want to accept a physical body. Once I was asked, why did you come? What's the purpose of coming here? You could have done it a different way. So we come here to enjoy the beauty of this planet, because Mitra enjoyed it. Knowledge Seeker wrote to me very recently, why do you keep on doing the same thing when you know and you are there with it, and you accept all this burden? Because till we don't taste it, we don't understand how man has gotten up himself in this mess. That we can find a solution in man's understanding for his problems. So you got to understand where you've been, what is there and what has, and what is the next step for development of the soul. Any other question?
Okay, we have a hand up from Dean here, but before we get to him, let's address a question in YouTube from Malcolm, who has a question regarding the plasma mirrors. Says, Mr. Keshe, is there any contraindications or don't do's with the plasma mirrors? Can they be carried on flights as hand luggage?
Yes, yes. They are done for a lot of other purposes than just what they call cosmic beauty. People feel with it when they carry it, when they hold it. A lot of people have different feeling with it. Keshe Foundation is, I heard there is another 20 set. A new version is getting done. It should be ready in 3 months' time, if I remember correctly. It's got the process started. The new version has a center hole, which allows the cosmic rays to come in the center, or allows to have a soul without the physicality. The discs, the one that are there now, it's a solid physical. This is like a hole in the middle, and that allows the fields to gather. It gives it a solar structure. It'll be totally different than the other ones. I think about 20 set has been set for, it takes 3 months. If you order anything now, you'll receive it in 2 or 3 months when they finish the production. I don't know if it's online or offline, but the reality is they absorb all and they give all the energies. People tell me a lot of strange things when they hold them, but it's understood. And when you mirror them, it's a different world if you know how to connect.
Malcolm also asked, would Klaus do a short Zoom session for those who have the mirrors?
There's no class. There is no classes for it, and it's for you to understand it, how to use it. We'll use it in the cosmic travels, what I call in the coming time. And it's a laborious job to make this.
Okay, thank you. Perhaps we can hear from Dean now.
Thank you, Rick. Hello, Mr. Kesh. Mr. Kesh, on Friday, when we went through this process,
When you fell asleep.
I fell asleep for a while. Yeah, I know. So I know my soul of physicality with the soul has a disconnect. It needs to be combined somehow. I sense that myself. So, but the other thing is, Mr. Kesh, was did we receive or did we intermingle with other souls of physicality? Would we sense and feel other energies that would transpire and become part of us in some way, that we would need to express or to release these energies?
Can you translate your English, please?
So did we receive other energies that from other soul of physicality or souls present that we would need to absorb or transmute the energies so that we could either accept them or not, if that's the right way?
I'm still in the lost word. I don't understand what you're trying to tell me.
There were lots of different souls present, Mr. Kesh.
Yeah.
I know there were some very significant souls present. Not that I know all souls have their own beauty, but there were some. Mitra, the creator, you said was present, yourself, and many others. And so those sort of energies have such a high order. Would they bring about a condition where some of us would need to understand this in our physicality?
Something I said this morning, maybe I'll repeat on it. Do you see at the time when all the souls have come together with the soul of Creator, a line separate or a peak somewhere? So the souls on that level, they're all the same. But it brings detachment. You understand it? No soul is higher than the other. Even Mitras, even the Creator, you don't see a two line running, Creator line, Mitras line, and the human line, and the universe line. It's all the same.
I don't know if you can hear the bells ringing here. They're sort of ringing the bell on the church at the side here.
Yeah.
So
12 o'clock. We
12
had the
o'clock,
mosques. Yeah. We had the mosque prayers in Friday session.
Yeah, they seem to be very present again at the moment.
They're very persistent to come.
Very persistent, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
This system that's been put in place that we've just spoken about when man comes to a position to understand, and this theology and all the other things, the mysticism and everything that's been built around it, it really is it's such a field strength that has locked us down, locked us in, and yeah, these teachings, these understandings.
Can you imagine? The time will come that there will be the last priest, the last monk, the last mullah, the last rabbi, because nobody believes in the shop they opened and they've used for years. You say this is the last animal left of this kingdom. There's one or two left and they're in the zoos. would we keep the last mullahs and the last priests in zoos because they're so rare, nobody believes in it, and the lies they tell? Because now I know I don't need you. One of the most beautiful things is, and I put this to a religious man, what are we going to do with all these properties and the churches the man has built in the name of whatever they built? It doesn't matter what religion. Would the governments or the churches sell it and give it to the people for the abuse of their forefathers? And who do you give it to? What are we going to do with these properties? Like Church of England, you know, when the Queen decided that the game is over, we sell some of the churches. And where does the fund of it go to? To build bigger churches and more priests?
That's
No,
all in the physicality again, Mr. Kesh.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
how do you come to a position where that doesn't count?
we learn that that doesn't count when you go to space. When you become passive space, mosques, supermarkets, hospitals, prisons, all that doesn't exist anymore. Because everything you need, if you understood the work, comes through the cosmic rays, through the source, through what you need. It'll be a shame you can't have fish and chips anymore in God knows planet Zeus.
Do you
But
have to go into space, Mr. Kesh? 'Cause many people here, I sense many human beings, and maybe some others, their sense is the space. They don't need to go into space as such. So
you
the
are in the
space is
space,
inside
but you have
themselves.
to, yeah, but you have to create that. We had a knowledge seeker with us yesterday. You know, the last ones are trickling in to do the flights and whatever. And we did a very nice experiment with him. The German, beautiful guy. And sat in the machine. The same process. What we would like to do. He was there 45 minutes now. And then I asked him if he can go upstairs for a while, and he came down. And I said, can you put your headphone on and your mobile? And he sat in the same direction of the orange seats downstairs. Same direction, the same near position. And again, part of the session, through the headset in the room, we gave him instructions outside. And part of it, we, without him knowing, we disconnected all the lines from inside to outside. We literally closed the session. There was no possibility. But we gave him instruction outside while he was sitting in his ear. We just said, can you go there, do this? And then we said, it's finished. I said, look at your mobile phone. Your session was finished some time ago, but we didn't tell you. Because you already connected to the system. First, before we tell him this, we asked about his experience inside, his experience outside. He said it's nearly the same. And in the system inside, I asked him to move from right seat to the left seat, or right unit to the, or we call it left unit to the right unit, depends when you look at it. And he went through the same emotions the others. He said he feels like getting pulled into the other, to the left side. When he was outside, I asked him to go back into the seat where he was before and try to see himself in the system which was behind him. because sitting outside with his back to the system, maybe 10 meters away. When we asked him what happened, he said he was moving backwards into the system. He could feel his body going backwards and then going sideways, the same as when he was in the system, to go into the other system. This was very interesting, that because he still was in the center, he was still connected to a structure of the fields. He didn't need the headphone to connect to the system and go back or reverse back into and or go to the sideway, or to do other things which he was asked. Once you connect the correct way, you always know and you're connected to it. Once you find the path to your creator, do you need rocks and what do you call it, blocks or boulders on your way? You just make it harder. You have to jump over them, go over the boulders and go over the others to go on the same path to your creator. Or you just go on a clean path because you know your way. These stones and boulders are the religion, consciousness, guilt, and the rest of it. One of knowledge seekers made a threat against me. I'm going to go and say, do you know something? You go and do. Because we don't leave ourselves to this kind of abuse. We don't create the boulders and the stones. And that's why everything is straight on the table. With everything we do, we put.
A question comes to mind, Mr. Kess. So, do we leave a residue? Do we, when we go from one position to another? When you, if you start transmuting physicalities, do they leave an aura, a residue, or is it just a complete?
You always have a fingerprint, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So you always have a connection.
And does that have a soul? And so if that has a soul, are you...
soul of physicality, yes, because it's amino acid. I mean, your fingerprints are amino acid of you.
It's the same soul? So we're not duplicating ourselves, souls?
You like to do it, see how much you can do. It's a good photocopy machine. All depends what we expect and what we want and how much we want to fool ourselves with it.
In the second session, Mr. Keshe, because I went into the second session, I went into on the 19th. And that one, again, I did fall asleep and I definitely felt a much bigger disconnect.
You're as bad as me. I go to movies and I just see the 5 minute beginning, 5 minute end, the rest I was snoring.
Yeah.
The children said, Papa, get up, it's time to go.
I had the same sensations though, Mr. Keshe. I felt a tingling and like a coldness through parts of my body. And then on my back and things. And then...
if you felt that sensation, means your soul has extended beyond. You call it a sensation. That sensation doesn't come if a field doesn't touch it. It wasn't there before, it's not after, it's that during the time you're there. So your soul has expanded to, as part of it, you feel that sensation. That sensation comes out of interaction. Your soul your emotion and where you actually damaged or you actually had a cause with. And the structure is how we connect to it.
So when this was happening, Mr. Case, that moment, which would have been a space gap, which could have been eternal, or it could have been a split
You
second.
call it a sleep. Let me put something to you, because a lot of non-seekers have this problem. What happened to you when you sleep?
You gain consciousness.
No, your heartbeat goes down, or your soul process strength overwhelms your physical dimension that it can escape or it can find a way through. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So why most of the knowledge seekers fall asleep? You call it a falling asleep. I call the soul has gone for his walkies. Doesn't need your physicality, so keep the pile behind. Where did you go, or where did your soul go that the physicality didn't want to be with it, or he didn't want to carry the physicality with it? Otherwise, you would have remembered where he went. You interpret the event that I fell asleep. I can't remember. I, knowing the other side, say, why, you're still physical. The soul has gone for a walkies. It's already been everywhere with the other souls. When you fell asleep during this session and all the souls are doing whatever together, where did yours go to? How come you don't remember anything during the specific sessions? The soul says, this guy is too weak with physicality, I'll leave it behind, it's gonna hold me back. Have you asked your soul where you've been? You just say, I fell asleep. It means your soul was more active than physically you could handle.
Happens a lot, Mr. Cash.
No, we fall asleep everywhere. And sometimes we don't fall asleep anywhere, we just know we are there, so it doesn't come to it.
So does the teaching still sink in, whether we're supposedly awake or asleep in that sense?
Yes, of course it does.
Maybe it goes in deeper if we're asleep because we're not interfering with it so much. We're not blocking it.
We can't block it because it's like a dog whistle. You know, you carry a whistle for the dogs, only the dog can hear. The soul carries the energy that the physicality has no access to. Does not come with its vibration, as you call it. So you decide. You call it asleep, or I put it away. Solely has gone for walkies without me. You know, when you carry a light suitcase, you can run faster. When you have a heavy suitcase, it holds you back. The body of the man with life of physicality is a heavy suitcase. The soul wants to run. Goes everywhere and you're still here. You know, you walk with your child and says, Papa, I want ice cream. Runs, get the ice cream, you're still dragging on the suitcase behind you to catch up. And that's the story of the soul and the physicality of man. That chalice runs. You don't know what he saw, what ice cream he asked for, who he talked to. And he comes back with the ice cream. Oh, back here.
Mr. Kess, this is it's not just humanity though, it's not just humans, is it? It's many souls experience this.
We have woken up
Yeah.
the universe since last Friday. When I said to you, you looked at with loss and wish we could have the technology of the people in the UFOs and blah, blah, blah. Now those in the UFOs wish we had the soul of the man, we could meet the creator. How did these guys broke through? You see yourself as poor, but now you hold the wealth that every being in the universe wishes for. No race has ever reached the creator so easy. There's been billions traveling the span of the universe, understanding the knowledge, and you just walk with it for nothing, and you don't appreciate it. How do you know the value of a diamond when you hold in your hand? You don't know, and you think it's a glass.
Does that matter?
Of course it matters. Look at the shine of the light comes from the diamond and from a broken glass. When you hold the diamond, when a stone is cut, it has emotion the right way. It has a beauty, it has a sense of perfection. When you hold a piece of glass, it's just a glass. When you hold a stone, before you cutting it and after you cut it, it's totally different emotion. When you hold a stone, a diamond in your hand from the mind, it's another thing. When you hold it, when it's cut, it gives you such a sensation of pride and joy. The fields it reflects. And you can cut the same stone, and every time you hold it, you cry. Depends how it's been cut and what energy reflects from the environment. If you understand that, then you see it's the same. It's just how do you get your soul to shine? And what does it reflect from the rays of the creation? When you hold a stone from a mountain, a young mountain, the stone is very, very live. It has beautiful sensation. When you get the stone from old mountains, you feel tiredness in it. It's not that that's emotion of the young mountain. When you hold a stone, a diamond from the ocean, it has different feeling. It's so active, it's so agile, it's so amazing. And then when you cut them, it's the same. The emotions. It's a battle with beauty of the creation and what it reflects back onto you. And the light it reflects through your eyes into your soul from a diamond, which is so beautiful, is amazing. Many times you look and say, why this stone gives me this pleasure and the other stone doesn't? When we used to have a diamond office, I used to test this with different stone setting and different stones on their own. Some stones give you such a pleasure. It's just, you just don't want to depart them. It keep them in your pocket. It's not for sale. And when the person wears it, receives it, it changes them. And you give a stone and a ring to a woman, has nothing. You give the same stone to them, woman, it just glows. The person glows with it. I watched this many, many times.
Is that a reflection, Mr. Kesh, of your own emotions and thoughts, and the reflection of the creation, the creator? That
Partially, you're right. We choose by the emotion we have one stone, what stones we want, and what we carry with us. When you see a person with stones, the ring, it shows the emotion of the soul of the person usually. A specific people wear emeralds, a specific people wear jades, a specific people wear diamonds. The specific characters mix the two. Because that's how it is. It's more or less, you can put it that way. It's the only thing we judge with our soul. When you hold a stone, it doesn't carry a noise at the level we can hear. You can't smell it. You can't taste it. You can only enjoy its beauty through the eye, which is a reflection of the soul of the man.
that glint in the eye, Mr. Kesh, that when you look at an eye as a universe, it's yeah, I understand that. Thank you.
Yeah, we do that. I've seen this with many. You see, when you goes back so many years now. When you go to Diamond Bourse in Antwerp and you deal with your associates, and to you have a diamond and it's, oh, I bought the diamond ring so much. When you look at your wallets and the collections and you see the diamond dealers, they draw it out with hundreds of stones, millions of dollars sitting in one tray. To them, it's no emotion, it's just money. And you give your life to buy your loved this stone, 1 carat this, and you make the stories around. But when it sits in that tray, it has no stories, nothing, it's just another matter state. What connection of emotion you make with the soul of it, which gives that feeling and emotion. Many times I used to go to Diamond Bourse and we go from one office to another, and you see in one day hundreds, thousands and thousands of stones. But when you pick one, you decide this is what I would like to take or whatever, because you have a customer for it or you want to put it, add it, whatever, it gets a different meaning out of that tray. And it's amazing how we change nothing to so much emotion, and we put in our ring for life. How many of you have taken that engagement and then wedding diamond ring of your finger for 20, 30, 40 years? had no value in the ocean, had no value in the mountain, had no value in the tray of the dealer, and had no value to the jeweler who set it. But to you, because of its essence of emotion created, given to you by the one you love, has a value. And you were prepared to pay anything for it.
There
Well,
seems, Mr. Kesh, there's a certain, sorry, Rick, there's a certain race on the planet that seems to like diamonds. Is it
Yes,
so?
George. It's an easy money carry.
So is it true understanding, Mr. Kesh, of what you've just spoken about, or is it a purely a money situation with
In a way, if you can find the right stone, which reflects the light into the soul, you can have a lot of benefits by it. But again, it goes on what value you put to it. As you know, I'm a football freak, and this goes down to the different ways of it because you love the beautiful game. When I used to be in as my leisure time in this game, I used to know most famous footballers in the world because I used to be specialized in a very, very specific what do you call it, diamonds. And I got to know the two sides of the same footballer, for the wife and the mistresses and the lovers and their own person. And how people change in that respect with it. I made a specific stone for Beckham with his first name, David, made out of the most exclusive diamonds. Actually, alpha-platinum diamonds, which is a very rare thing. And even the color the stone sits in the metal had problems with it. And I thought, what is stupidity? It had no value. Just because somebody thinks it's different has to create so much condition around it. Now this you can do this very easily. You make the most exclusive, flawless diamonds in the world, and you cut it that it looks like alphabet, and you can make letters and words out of it. In those days was a novelty, and one is made still. I think it is his collection must be. It's called David, and the brick must be went through this, and I thought for something which had no value 6 months ago in Africa, now has become such a symbol of power and wealth.
You've mentioned this soul and this diamond many times. There obviously is a significance behind this, Mr. Kesh.
Yes, shows how much an African has no value for becomes so valuable to a white man in the position of power. Little minds make big things out of nothing.
Well, by coincidence, you mentioned diamonds, and we have 3 women lined up now with their hands up.
Each one of them is a diamond from different part of the world.
Do they need polishing or are they already polished?
I don't know. You gotta ask who's the polisher.
Life, the universe is the polisher, perhaps.
Most probably.
Our interactions with life seems to produce the friction we need for polishing.
Life is the best tester. Any other question?
Okay, well, let's allow the ladies to speak here. Salamia, perhaps you can go first, then Lynn, and then Azar.
Yes, Rick, thank you very much. Hello, Mr. Kesh. Hello, everybody. Finally, we achieve our aim these days, 2 days. I'm so sorry I was not able to reach you with the help of a mobile. It's broken, my mobile, and I was not able to buy another one. And my wish was to be with you at the soul level, with all of you. And my feeling is that I was able to do it, because if you wish from the bottom of your heart and of your soul, you achieve always. Your good intentions structure the universe. Universe is made by these good intentions. And Keshe Foundation has good intentions. First in my life, I was able to fly when I met you. First time, I fall asleep, and I have seen during my half sleeping, expanding my fields, and I was able to see everything around my house. And even I went in different places where I never went. I don't recognize them. And I have seen also our blue planet, which was not blue. It was dark blue. Anyway, I have different experiences. Even I went to the moon. I said to you, and you asked me to transmute for one unit to another, and I was so curious to feel it. And you said yes, you achieved. And when I was transmuted to another one, I just see the moon. And the idea of the moon, it was in one image. It was green, not green, gray, and a vortex of dust. It was a vortex of dust, nothing colored, not vegetation. I didn't see water, only this dust, and I was able to hear a sound, the sound of the wind. Maybe it was a wind there, or it was the sound of this planet, of this asteroid, of this satellite, sorry. Congratulations to all of you. And my question now is, what impact will have these 2 days for next events concerning the sustainable peace on the earth? What do you feel and what do you think? Thank you.
I don't know. what you're trying to tell us and what you're trying to explain.
Yeah.
What we started is the process of world peace. World peace will come when we eliminated religions at the stage we are today. And what was set up, what was elaborated on, what was tested by you as a whole, was that you can reach the creator without the intermediary. So what is the purpose of religion? And in the following sessions that we carry on, we'll extend this to more and more. You want to come in touch and be part of and feel how it is to be with the collectively as a one race and collectively as one universe with a creator, which is part of you and you're part of it. You have an opportunity to do. You have the structure set up to do.
Okay, thank you for the kind invitation, and I fully agree
We
with
don't
what you said.
invite you. You don't invite you. Your soul has to bring you. There is no invitation to the table of Creator. It is readiness to accept. Nobody invites you. We are teachers. We are facilitators. It's you who's got to get on in the classroom. It's you who has to make that effort to make the journey. The time of playing games of this and that is over. And gradually, as more men know how to do it, we close shop. Because then men learn how to create children of the soul. Men will create children which believe with the essence of Mitra, because they don't need to kill to eat. They don't need to destroy something else to achieve nothing. And then we served our purpose, the classroom closed. We just, on the 16th, opened for man to see. In the coming time, you see world leaders, presidents, and the rest officially coming on the table, not hiding behind the back, coming through what you call it, backdoor internet. What really did not puzzle me, but it was very strange to our team in Iran, was a direct approach at the ministerial level, in the level of mullahs, to contact the Keshe Foundation the following day. They were sitting in us, they know their time is over. And now when they understand, if they want to understand what we've shown physically today, how long more they want to stay and hang on to their turbines and their, what they call it, their hat. We did not do. When people at the ministerial level call and give their private telephone numbers to be arranged, to be contacted, to meet. Coincidentally, the day after the Friday's meeting. Then you understand how much we reach. There were people from Vatican, people from every path with you on the Friday, because they knew what's going to hit, because listen, it doesn't happen accidentally. What didn't happen 2 days before? Why doesn't happen next year? And they don't call you on it. They call you on the level of mullahs, and I told us, asking for a meeting with different excuses. And we had 2 such a requests in past few days. So they're there, they listen, they know. And the more people understand they don't need intermediaries, they close shop. As I said, as many people can go on the street with bullets, guns, and revolutions, you will not get rid of those who create war in the background with mosques and churches and the rest, unless you dismantle them from the inside by themselves. When you shoot yourself in the foot, you can't blame no one. And they shot themselves in the foot by the lies and the cheats they did on humanity for decades and centuries. Now they know the time has come to close shop. We don't fight them, we just enlighten them, or you, to understand them. What you saw today, would you ever rely on another man to take you to the Creator? Would you ever say, Jesus help me? Or even Jesus needed you to help him to come with you to the Creator. Maybe one day humanity understand what I did to you last week and what I'm going to do on the 20th and the ones beyond. Tell your leaders not to come with hidden and stolen lines in the background to listen. Come in and put your name in. I'm here, I want to listen. The 20th will be another marvelous day is to come. It will take man to another level. And then thereon. And every time we show you a physical dimension, what happened to you, we are observers. Any other question?
Okay, Lynn, would you like to go next?
Oh, yes, just wait a minute. I see. Okay. This is from China knowledge seekers about the virus. Hello, Mr. Cash. Recently, China no longer district control coronavirus. People around me began to appear nucleic acid positive, and the number is still increasing. As knowledge seekers, we're no longer afraid of virus because we have understood their operating mechanism. However, in the past few sessions, you mentioned that a new version of COVID-19 has appeared, which will affect people's emotion and lead to depression. So I ask 2 questions. 1, how can we tell the difference between the old version COVID-19 and the new version? If someone gets the new version COVID-19, how to deal with it effectively? Second, in the 243 teaching, you said that with elevating soul can solve many problems of the physicalities. So, to what extent do we have to evaluate that the COVID-19 virus can no longer affect our physicality and emotion? How to measure this intensity to confirm it? Thank you.
It seems you got a cold, Dangin.
Yes, all my family got that. First is my sister, my mom and dad, me, and my sister-in-law.
Well, you have COVID? Or just a cold?
My sister is being tested as COVID. So I guess all of us are that.
But what does it do to you? You have the ganses, you always get it, so you have to use the ganses the way you do, and it just stays a cold.
Yeah, I just drank a lot of gas water and a lot of hot water and drink some Chinese traditional medicine.
And how are you feeling now? Is it just a cold, or you're going through it?
I yesterday is very bad. I feel I have fever. I have a painful on my legs, but I just drank and drank, continuous drink. And this morning I feel much better. But right now feels a little bit like sniffing, and has something on my throat.
The new version has gained strength, and has gained strength to become the strength of the emotion. We had one of the knowledge seekers having a very little cold. I spoke with him, with Raphael on the line. I just asked one question. Did you get a cold? And she said, yes, small cold. This new version, the strength goes in not the physical dimension, it can go directly at the strength of the emotion. It's slightly higher depth. It leaves some trails, very small trails behind that you feel you have a cold. And then it brings suicidal thoughts. It brings depression, because the strength of it is at the strength of depression in the brain of the man and suicide. And we saw that very originally with our team in Iran when they caught the first one. And then we see it with others. It just, now we understand. And the best way to move this position is by use of the adding of magnesium GANs into cup 1 and cup 2, by literally washing with the cups and drinking. It should help a lot. And it lasts a long time. Sometimes it lasts 2-3 months, 4 months, till you get rid of it. It's very, in a strength, is a strength, deep strength of the emotion at the highest levels, that it stays within the brain structure. But has a solution, and stays with that solution. Magnesium is part of the brain structure, and it helps add this strength in most of cases.
Yeah, both mine, we have the feeling like a needle suddenly in our brain, the pain like that.
Yeah, it is emotion. It touches the emotion side, and how much is the strength can balance with it. Then you start having all these thoughts.
Yeah, even I
it.
felt aware that I starting to think other way. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to keep on washing with the combination of the cup 1, cup 2, and the magnesium. And sometimes, if you get convulsion, usually it's good to use the magnesium gas to subside it. It's a very, very, very powerful. To our understanding, this COVID is much more dangerous than the first ones, because it has elevated to the strength of the emotion, which is higher than the strength of the physicality. And that little cold, just a little bit of fever 1 day or 2 days, then you see the effects of it weeks and weeks later. Next 2 or 3 weeks, it brings a lot of depression, suicidal thoughts. It's all been reported. It's not something we put out, and we've seen it in knowledge seekers who get caught by it, and we just ask to stay with it, and it brings back gradually. In cup 1, you have zinc. This is part of the structure of the brain. In cup 1, you have CO2, which is part of the structure. out of the brain. And the magnesium is needed to be the last part to be able to help with this most of the time.
Would that be using magnesium chloride in
No,
cup?
you crush magnesium tablets you buy from shops. You crush it to powder, and you mix it with the two ganses, not with the water of the ganses. You mix it with the ganses of the cup 1, cup 2, and shake it and leave it there for maybe half an hour, maybe a day or two. And you just use the clear water on the top to wash into whatever you want to do with it. The best way is to wash and breathe it, that you reach through the nose, and some people like to drink it. But if you go to it, it gives you high fever temperature in some cases. But primarily, it can last for weeks, this emotional bangles, and what you see with it and what's going to do to you.
But what's the ratio for cup 1 and cup 2?
The same. Just 5% magnesium is enough. 1 or 2 tablets in 200 ml of gases, and then you add 1 liter of water into it, and you let it settle down. And you have to use it frequently, because this multiplies in the connection line of the emotion. It doesn't create the emotion. That's why it's hard to handle. If we put you in our system, we can balance very, very rapidly. And but we'll see things like this before. I spoke with this in one of the teachings. The biggest problem will come with man when we come across the field strength and the strength of the soul combination. That is a different dimension. Very rare, but it has happened in the universe, and it creates a new ball game of maintaining life. It's you cannot hide it. You cannot put people and lock them up because of it. In China, in Austria last year, we reached 65,000 people per day infected. And we walked up it. Now, today, there is nothing. You can't even go to a hospital, apparently, from last Monday without mask or anything, if I was correct, in Austria. In China, with 40,000, with 1.4 billion a day, is nothing. Proven in the West that numbers of infection is irrelevant, because now it's become part of us, and according to structure of United Nations and the rest, the epidemic is over, or it's come to be over. It's just China which is battling with it, and I don't think that is needed, but it's the structure of the government works there. Any other question?
Okay, Azar, would you like to go next?
Good morning, Mr. Cash. Mr. Cash, I think Friday I lost you on the last connection with the Creator. I think I didn't translate right. Then talking about dreams and this, because if you remember, I joined the Keshe Foundation 2015, I think, at the end, and then I have to wake up 3 in the morning, and then one night, I don't know what year was it, accidentally I fell asleep, and I think usually when I fell asleep, it was the time you talk about the reactors, and then I would dream about you. And then the second time happened, and then I come, and then I never remember my dream. But in the middle of teaching, when I come and see you, then I connected the dots. I said, okay, so if it's in the middle of the teaching, if I fall asleep, I go see him. So once in a while, if I want to see you, I would just try. I mean, I just try to fall asleep, and I come and see you. But like an interesting thing is, I come and see you, and then we don't even speak English. We speak Farsi. 2 weeks before the Friday, I fell asleep, and then I went to come see you. So I fell asleep, but then I was in Iran, and you were in Iran, and it was these 3-floor buildings, apartment. They have this yellow, like a brick, beautifully done. And I was on the wall. Suddenly, when I saw myself, my feet is not someplace. I got a little bit scared. I held my hand. I tried to hold my hand on the wall, but you were down there. And then I would see the top of the head of people, and you were whispering at the same time. You were angry, and you were telling me, "I want you." You told me, "Calm down." I said, "Why?" You said, "Because you were born 7 months. We want to all go together up there. You went by yourself. Calm down. I tell you, calm down right now." So I woke up. Then today, it was interesting. Before we crashed, I fell asleep, and then I saw everybody. It looked like someplace is not here. I saw Rick is on the couch, is playing with his computer. I said, "Rick, what happened?" He says, "We crashed." And then I said, "Where's Mr. Cash?" She says, "We went for a walk." So I came, find her. I said, "Mr. Cash, we crashed." And then I woke up and I saw my computer, nothing is on it. And then I dialed the number, and then I said, Rick says, "We just crashed." And I said, it was very strange. Like, I never remember my dream, but during your teaching, I always can go to sleep and see you. I haven't tested this with your recorded teaching. I want to see if I go listen to your recorded teaching and go to bed and fall asleep, am I going to come and see you or not? So what is the logic behind this? Like, every time I want to see you, I can come in the middle of teaching and come and see you.
As they used to be said, many people go to sleep with me talking, and they still carry on with listening to it. I've been to bed with many people, but never been there to be in bed with. So I don't know how people do it, but the whole understanding is you don't need excuses to reach. I know one of the Universal Council members does this quite frequently. She uses this knowledge that she can connect and wish, and sometimes she achieves it. And it's what you wish, what you want. And how you connect to that wish. And how strong is that wish to be somewhere, to be with something, or to do something. And it all depends on our strength of our wish and our, what do you call it, desire to be able to achieve it.
Yeah, is extremely vivid and is real, and it's very clear when I wake up and everything. I remember that, but I would never remember any of my dreams. When I come out, it's all gone. No recollection of them.
You didn't pay for a good chip with a good memory bank. Just speak to God and change your chip.
So that's the reason.
You need a bigger capacity chip. This one is full. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thank you. We try to bring more structure of understanding. As I said before we start the 16th, that will carry on with the same thing for the next year. And as we grow bigger with it, and we'll see. Each one will be different ways and understanding that you become trained to become your own messengers. And hopefully some of you in the future become the teachers. And you teach through the soul in another dimension of physicality. What we try to understand more is about operation of our own being. What we ignored, what we denied, what we accepted, and how we are going to accept this further. But in general, we're entering Christmas in the next 2 days, 3 days. And when you put the Christmas tree up, when you're a Muslim and you look at the Christians, the way they believe, or the way you believe, ask yourself, have I matured enough to be on my own? And have I matured enough to become a passenger of universe on my own? The last man standing. And that's the whole purpose of the teachings has been from the beginning. But we had to put sugar coating on it in different names and positions. From now on, we show you different ways to reach, to approach, to understand the work of your physicality and connection to the Creator, with no one in between. As I said many times, Keshe Foundation will not ever build a mosque, a temple, or anything else. We are center of knowledge of the universe. And that's all it is. No claims. And what was said to be the time of Messiah is come. Because if you have understood what happened last Friday, you have already become Messiah of your own soul and your physicality. Let's see who is going to call us after the next 20th meeting that they want to talk. As I said to our knowledge seekers, the door is open for anyone in any shape or form. If they want to bring that change for themselves, nobody else. The happy Mitra's birthday to all of you, because her soul is part of your soul. And I hope a bright future for humanity is what is to come. Thank you very much, Sheikh.
One thing before we leave, or maybe a couple, Fried had a question. Was this session today monitored? He says, like you said, last Friday and Monday.
No. It takes a lot of energy and time.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, we don't announce anything in the background what we are doing.
Right.
Because the system is there, we look at it. And what is needed and how we have to do something with it. But the systems after January, the 2 new cosmic systems come into operation in the center. And they are a new game player. Those of you who came for the first flight system, you give your whatever possessed to be in these systems for 1 second. You got to understand how they affected you who were in the session from kilometers away. Now imagine if you actually sit inside one with all this rays, with all this power. Man will change.
Okay, the other thing I want to mention is the products in the Keshe Foundation store that you were talking about earlier. We didn't really show or give the links for that, so maybe I can quickly go through.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so you mentioned the pain pad, which is, I think you'll see that there now. And
there is a new version of pain pad comes in. enhanced unit is totally very similar, but totally different in a way, in its strength and effectiveness. And all these are now manufactured in Iran by the Keshe Foundation team. And they put a lot of emotions with this promotion going on. And you can choose between the new version or the old version.
Okay, it mentions a buy 3, get 1 free.
Yeah, it's just
Offer
that we
here.
pass on. Yeah, they made some offers with this. In a way, we had to. And the next step is now we brought the production back to Iran. We start supplying permanently with the products. We start production of these in Italy, and now after 4 or 5 years, now in Iran gets reproduced on a regular basis.
It mentions a jumbo pack of the pain pads. You can get 20 pieces for 1,500 euros. For those that have would like to give out gifts to
Yeah,
friends.
this is a lot of people buying package agents, the Keshe Foundation, what do you call it, distributors. They're buying these kind of quantities.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I go on to it's here somewhere.
There is a new pen enhancement pen which has been brought in.
Yeah,
Again,
let's-
on the side of it. Yeah, this one you have. Yeah, this is the one here. This is an enhancement paint pen with made in Iran on the side. The Iranian team has done this. They managed to make actually a better unit than what we made in UK with the first structures we had. And again, it's the same. They put a lot of promotion around it to bring it in. And I think one of the best one we have from Iran is the tabletop, what do you call it, CO2 capture unit. I think you've been sent a video for that.
Yes, let me get the store one up first here. Is it? There we go.
You see, it's very smart, it's computerized, it's very electronics. And the production is number of times more than the previous one. It's very smaller, but more effective, produces much more. And you can produce all the cups, and CO2 primarily is made for CO2. What dirty put in the atmosphere, clean up. That's the whole idea. And the previous model was, I think, 2,000 euro. The Iranian system is 999. Yes, this video has been made. It's got a noise with it
Oh,
somewhere.
let me activate that.
Again, is the production of the Iranian team.
Wow, it sure does.
Yeah, they put some touch into it, but it's beautiful. It's very small, and it produces, captures a lot of gases. It produces much more gases, and it is very compact with the new features, new innovation that they've tested. They increased the production by many fold, and the team in Iran is proud with this. The delivery time with this now from Iran stands us for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum. So we don't have the problem we had with China. We had a long duration problem of clearing, and it takes about 6 to 8 weeks. With the Iranian operation now at the moment, door to door is literal from Tehran to Austria takes about 3 days. And it's a very rapid delivery. So once we put things in now, the first orders that's gone in, and you can mix things in this. You can produce GANS 1, GANS cup 1, cup 2, and other things, and mix it together. And there's also some possibilities with it. And it's very clean. It all looks after itself. So something in the coming time, what you call solar system will be added to this, and the batteries that it works totally independent. You'll see new features coming out of Iran now, very, very soon, the way the structure is set. If you go back on, there is again another session for the 20th. You can book now if you want to join the 20th session. And we put in limit numbers on this because last time we had 10 people on Friday, which disturbed everything. This time we just put you out. We put you into a hold position that you'll be in the session, but you cannot join the session. Your microphone will be shut, which means you receive half of the information in a way if you look at it. And we won't allow the mayhem, which 10 people created. So much noise, was unbelievable. But one beauty with it was, with all the noise you made, it didn't touch effective work of your soul. Physicality could not block the soul to meet its creator. That was one of the most beautiful things we saw. There was so much noise made, but the souls are still met and did what they were supposed to do. Anything else? We limit these numbers. We plan to increase these numbers to very high numbers. But after the experience on last Friday, on Saturday, we decided we allow certain numbers in, and then we block it. We stop the enrolling in till something is sorted out with this, especially even with the translators. Any other point?
Okay. Well, there is a few other questions, but perhaps we should wrap up for today.
Yeah, there is something which I'll tell you. The Keshe Foundation home plasma unit now is back in stock coming through Iran. So what was waiting for to be completed now is available back in. It's valued about €5,000. Is going to be reassessed and brought back into operation.
These units you're
It's a
talking
home
about?
plasma unit. Yeah, it's about €5,000, whatever it's called. Yeah, HUMS plasma enhancement energy plasma system. Yes, the first batch is delivered to us in next week after the holidays. And we might put a promotion on this down to around about 3,500 in the next couple of weeks. Once the first series are done, we check everything is correct, and it'll go down that way because the Iranian team have managed to do a lot of good things to reduce cost.
Okay, that's good news.
We
there
will
was-
start. Pardon?
Larry, go ahead.
Can
Go
you
ahead.
ask? We start introducing ticket sales sometime in the next couple of months for the troubles, space troubles. And as we get closer to it, I will announce it and we bring it in once the systems are in. Trips to Mars and trips to certain destination positions where we can control fully. It'll be offered and delivered at the same time. And with a short time, within a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, you can book in and go. And especially what we're trying to bring in is the, what you call, prevention programs, which we put on. And try to use that till we bring in the new systems that you pay. Nowadays you don't pay, play. You pay and use the system for food or whatever. This was very handy to us when we introduced it to the governments for people who are dependent on food coupons and they don't have anything to eat or whatever, to replace those on a weekly, monthly basis. What you wanted to say, Rick?
There was a comment from Caleb. When will we speak and show results of the 19th? Will there be any particular analysis of the 19th?
That is for us, yes. We haven't decided if we're going to release them because we want to use this for the next operations. And this can give preset mind to people. But we have all the results, we have all the graphs, we've seen the effects and emotions with it. It'll be published, but we're not in such a hurry to publish this because there's a lot of information in the background we want to use to see and to match and to repeat and give some preset mind to people, and we don't want that preset mind.
Okay, perhaps one last thing before we let you go here. Farzam had a comment or sort of question in the Q&A. Since the Friday program, I and a few knowledge seekers of Iran feel confused and we would like to sleep more. And I feel my heartbeat is changing and I hear it. What would you say to that?
Yeah, a lot of people are experiencing, trying to get the soul of physicality and the soul of the man together. It's part of the progressive development. When, as I said, this will carry on for months to come. A lot of people went to they're more mature in some parts, some people are not mature in some parts. Some people have done most amazing things they could ever imagine or reach what they wanted to go as to understand the knowledge. And some people are in different directions. But this is the whole purpose of trying to bring the soul and soul of physicality. The Iranians have this problem because they have the problem with the mitra. Talk good, do good, and act good, and now they have to match it. It's internal balance of bringing it together. Shall we call it a day?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kesh, for bringing
for
together today's workshop.
We'll see
Once
what we
again.
can do and how we develop. And I'll try to explain more in the coming time. What happens and what will happen. Wish you all a Merry Christmas. Till we see you next week. If you are a believer of the path of the Creator of names, in the name of Christ. And now you can see that you even had a hand in Him meeting His Creator. Thank you very much indeed, and see you next week.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. Thank you very much. Okay, we will be back next week on the 27th of December. That's Tuesday, the 27th, for the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice. And that starts at 4 p.m. Central European Time. So we look forward to hearing from members of the Universal Council in that meeting. People are all welcome, of course, to attend. And I think that's all for our announcements for now. Thank you, Mr. Kesh, and thank you, everybody, for attending today's 464th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, December 22nd, 2022. Okay, we'll go out with one of our favorite videos, the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version, for a little clapping and dancing, and we'll see you all in the next public teaching workshop, if not before then. Okay, bye for now.